think that the most important responsibility of being a captain is you'll be the one to carry the weight. Without someone who's leading the team, may crumble and fall.
The most important quality a captain can have is to be resilient and to have a strong mental fortitude.
We will charge and be brave through the challenges that we will face going forward.
So whether we're losing a lot of rounds or winning a lot of rounds, we want to make sure this doesn't define us.
Being a team captain is leading by example.
To this very moment, and they're very excited for the victories awaiting for them.
So I suggest you buckle up because we're in for an action-packed showdown. I am your host, Angelica Sarmiento.
And my name is Rexler Bayani, and welcome to the semi-final of the UAAP Esports Tournament 2026 for Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Okay, and for those who are watching here, please do not forget to use our hashtags, the UAAP Esports 2026, hashtag Legends Start Here, and hashtag UAAP Season 88, and hashtag for everyone UAAP.
And of course, we're also streaming live on the UAAP Varsity channel, Pilipinas Live, and One Sports on YouTube. So for all of your support, don't forget to drop it in the comment section in the live stream. And of course, don't forget to share everything that you see.
And for those who wants to watch on-site, tickets are available here at the MVP Studios while sits last. So Rexer, I cannot keep everyone waiting anymore. So let's do our vibe check.
One last vibe check. UAAP Esports, are you ready?
I guess we are ready.
All right, so let's proceed with our first match in the semifinals. Let's go.
First match. The pack is on the prowl. The title in their sight. The Bulldogs are ready to show their bite. Let's go, NU Bulldogs! with their jungle lane Estacio. Mid lane Blas. Top lane Herrero. Rome Bakulan. And team captain and expilator Bangsal. Make some noise for the NU Bulldogs. From Diliman, they've come to fight. Mga scholar ng bayan will prove their might. Here comes the UP Fighting Maroons. With their expilator Mariano. Villaroya. Jungle Martinez. Mid lane Santiago. Gold lane Gabrinao. Their team captain and roamer Sikat. Let's give it up for the UP Fighting Maroons. Let's show some UAAP sportsmanship. Players give each other a fist bump. It's our first match of the playoffs. Omi and Miggy, take it away.
It's the first semifinals bout of our playoffs for UAAP Esports MLBB 2026. It's going to be UP Fighting Maroons against National University Bulldogs. It's Group A versus Group B meeting. In our first semifinals, it's going to be Theo Ignacio and Miggy Arayata covering the action. Miggy, this seems to be a very crucial match because anybody who wins this is going straight to the finals.
We've seen them fight tooth and nail, and we are expecting a very explosive and very competitive day today. This is going to be our first series of the semifinals. The top seed of Group A, the NU Bulldogs, versus the second seed. Only by a hairline away, they had to face off against Adamson. Though they did not complete the perfect run, they were not able to deny Adamson University a perfect run. UP still gave the other teams in their bracket a bang for their buck, and now we're going to be considering how competitive they are, though they have been showing us our stat lines wherein they were able to 2-0 Ateneo. They got to even out the score against UE, and of course finally falling down to the overall first seed of Group B, which is Adamson University.
And UP entering the Final Four for the first time ever in history of UAAP MLBB. This is a historical moment, not just for UP Fighting Maroons, but also for National University after their heartbreak from last season, losing to DLSU to the finals and losing against DLSU once again yesterday. National University is looking for a way to come back strong to the finals after this fight against UP Fighting Maroons. But for UP, you've already made history. You want to continue making it further to the finals. Our match schedule for tonight, we have NU and UP starting off the day quite early, 10:30. And right after this one, it's going to be Adamson University against DLSU.
We're looking at 2 or 4 of our competitors now for the semifinals. Whoever they have secured a spot, they've already whoever loses here will be taking home that 3rd and 4th place. They are the bronze medalists of our tournament. But of course, they're not going to settle for that. They're going to make sure that they fight it out to the end, duke it out to the end. And of course, we're still witnessing history at its finest, especially because there are 2 new names, I believe, who just recently entered from previous season. They were the bottom of the barrel in their group stage. That was Adamson and UP. And now they're here facing
of the
off
crop.
against the previous champions and first runner-up of the last season.
What a story so far for UP and National University. Of course, for everyone watching at home, don't just watch the action, be part of it. If you want to experience every clutch play, every thrilling moment, and support your university live, join us here at the TV5 MVP Studios and grab your tickets now. And of course, big shout outs to PLDT. Thank you for keeping us connected and supporting the excitement of the UAAP Esports Tournament 2026. Match 1 is underway. It's National University versus UP fighting Maroons. This is a classic David and Goliath matchup.
Exactly. That was what I was actually thinking of bringing up as well, because of course you're looking at NU. We've been talking about them a whole lot during this tournament, during the group stage actually. They are multi-medal, bedazzled with a lot of accolades, both national and international. They were expected to clean up the group actually, no matter what they call it as this strong bracket or the strong group. They were able to take a 2-0 against a formidable UST, a 2-0 against UE, but eventually we realized that there is still competition. You cannot put everything into stone just because they were able to be shut down and denied a clean sweep by DLSU. Their formidable rivals from last season, the same team that denied them that championship title. All the while you're looking at UP, you're looking at a team that just suddenly popped off. They had so much impact. They started the group stage so strong against Ateneo, and we are hoping to see some new changes, some more competitive MLBB here in UAAP with them, depending on how much they play. Of course, it's gonna be an interesting sight to see, especially with how NU drafts or how NU plays. They are quick to the timers. They want to play very aggressive early on. All the while, UP, very unorthodox picks, very unique. They try to be as stable as they can. Usually, that's how they're able to power through their matchups. They bring in a lot of comfort. They bring in a lot of heroes that tend to not be in the meta, but they can perform really well with it.
Yep, and UP fighting Maroons with the unorthodox play style that you've already mentioned. We've seen that happen yesterday. They tried to get a 2-0 just to get the top seed, but failed to do so against the Adamson University, who finished an immortal run, a 9-point run in the group stage. One of the best runs, I'd say, so far in the history of UAAP MLBB Esports. We're heading on to the draft. What did UP learn against Adamson University that they can apply against National University? It's going to be NU on the blue side and red side for the UP fighting Maroons. Coach Dap already assisting Coach Ivan here in the side of NU. And it seems that everybody's locked in after yesterday's loss.
We're seeing a lot of very determined faces, really competitive. They're taking this game really seriously, especially since this is a single elimination. Winner takes all. Whoever wins will be taking that seat, that first spot in the grand finals. And of course, we're looking at NU. They know that Sikat is one of the key members, key players in UP's play style. He's the one that calls the shots. He's the one who makes sure that all of the pieces of the puzzles fit together. So I believe NU is going to be trying to figure out how they're going to be denying UP that chemistry, that tempo, that is all revolving around Sikat's play. All the while, we're going to be waiting on UP's band. They've seen how aggressively or hyper-aggressive NU has been playing the past season, the past group stage. We've noticed how a lot of teams tend to falter because they cannot keep up with the pace. Knowing that UP has what it takes, as we know, they're UP, utak puso. They're gonna have to bring the brains. They gotta bring the heart if they want to be able to deny and shut UE down.
Yep, and UP, as of now, they're just trying to take out heroes on the side of National University that are quite of a big threat with that Fanny. We know Estacio played a mean Fanny yesterday, and he has shown multiple times in multiple international and local tournaments that he's one of the best Fanny users here in the Philippines, not just in the collegiate stage. And National University, taking away options away from the captain of UP Fighting Maroons. The Sikat pickups such as the Matilda and the Rafaela. Yesterday, UP Sikat even played out the Estes, though it did not work out against Adamson University. Their early game was way better than expected.
We're seeing a lot of respect bans actually coming from both teams, with Sikat being respect banned with that Rafaela and that Matilda ban. And on the side of UP, we are seeing a stash of respect ban being that Fanny. And of course, this is Blas's Selena being taken out as well. We've seen how much vision he has. He not only provided burst with the Selena when he was playing it, but he also was able to amplify and extend the vision that NU needed, so they were able to position themselves better. And that is very crucial in the early game, especially when you want to be hyper aggressive. You want to have that early game snowball. And judging by or seeing NU's play during the group stage, a lot of their games did not last around 50 minutes. Before 50 minutes, it tended to be over, except for their match against LaSalle.
Yeah, National University has been very dominant in a lot of their early game antics, and rightfully so, very efficient the way that they play the early game. Meanwhile, for UP, a lot of surprises, a lot of things that you don't really expect, but at the end of the day, works out for them. That's the reason why they have entered the Final Four for the first time. This lineup, this iteration of the University of the Philippines Fighting Maroons have fought their way to this place, and now taking away the Paquito as well. A lot of first pick options here for National University. What are we expecting? Is this going to be the Melissa?
Possibly the Melissa. They're really giving NU the choice, because I think because of that Paquito ban, they might be looking to push NU to try to secure the Hirara, knowing full well that if they don't get it, if they did choose to prioritize that Melissa, Hirara is going to be uncontested without the Paquito counter or the Paquito matchup in their name. But there is still an opening. There is still a Nolan. So possibly, because the Melissa has been picked up by NU, UP might be looking to secure that Hirara +1. Possibly a Belleric, possibly another roam for Sikat, because we've been seeing a lot of the deny picks being onto the side of Sikat. So UP has to take their roam in the first 3 picks.
Yep, unless NU might just take away more picks away from Sikat's hands, but looks like it's going to be the Marcel and the Uranus. National University has the opportunity to get the Belleric for themselves. In fact, the Atlas is also open to take if you want to give that to the roamer. And so far, National University have played a lot of games with this Uranus. Bangsal has to play something else, and he's gonna go for the Esmeralda quite early in with Estacios Hirara.
Estacios Hirara indeed, and now that's gonna be putting that Harley onto the side of UP, though it is not really the go-to counter. In a way, it forces the falling maples, it forces the iframes from Hirara, just because that deadly magic could just potentially proc her or bop her out of the game. Just because of that, they have to really, if they aren't used to the timing, they're going to be having to use the iframes to make sure that they dodge it, meaning Hirara's not going to have the spells or the skills or the cooldowns to be able to make more impact during team fights. And adding to that, of course, Esmeralda being taken up, picking up, because, you know, that's how she's a fairly strong counter against the Uranus in the XP lane.
Yep, and it's not even a counter at this point. I feel like this has been a love story between the Esmeralda and the Uranus, where they just trade left and right and then go on with their lives. And it seems that UP Fighting Maroons taking away the Atlas. This will be actually quite detrimental against National University if they still don't have their roamer. The Belleric is still open to take, but UP, they already have the Marcel, and if they take away another roam pickup here, this might just be National University relegating themselves to a unorthodox roamer.
Unorthodox roamer, possibly. There's still the glue to connect, but the question really here is if they want to be playing around their roam, if they want to be trying to find a good pickup for NU, or making sure that Herrero on that Melissa is going to have an even better game, just because they want to be playing around that. That Eudora ban is very targeted just to protect this Melissa. They know that the bursts are going to be coming in, and of course, as Umi predicted, Belleric has been taken out. Thus, NU's going to be bringing up a very different roam. Possibly the glue as a way to combat the connection or the tempo that UP tends to play a lot of. They play very team fight heavy gameplay. So we're going to be seeing a lot of ways to disrupt that. Maybe we've been seeing Gatot Kacha actually pop off recently. So that's another way to try to get into the backline or try to force the front line to target or prioritize him during the time. And with that, NU takes out Granger, leaving open a Brody pick. And we know for Brody and Clint, burst gold laners tend to have a good time against Melissa. Melissa tends to have a harder laning, slowing down her timings. But let's see if UP is going to be able to do something about it.
Yep, and UP still has a lot of options towards that gold lane. You already see that, Brody. You told us about it. And again, late game options such as the Claude or the carry in case they do want to build towards the late game. Meanwhile, for National University, in terms of roamers, the options are now limited. You still have basic options such as the Gatot Kacha, as you mentioned. But it seems that UP, even after the Eudora ban, they're going to go for the Novaria. A very risky move coming in from UP fighting Maroons, considering that you are up against a Hirara and you will be hunted down for the most part. The glue that you mentioned is still open to take for the roam here. National University could counter out not only this Harley, but also this Uranus.
I'm thinking there are a lot of strong ultimates to be taken here, as we know that Astral Echo is also a pretty good pickup. Astral Echo or Golden Hour. If you do not have a setter frontliner or a setter roam, you might as well get a Way, which is the Valentina, to be able to take skills from the opponents to use against them, to use them that as a way to set up. We've seen it done yesterday with the pickup of a Valentina when Atlas taken out, but they're going a complete opposite. They're going to be looking for that early game domination with that Hilda and that Lilia. We know the first blood opener with the Lilia. We know that Hilda tends to prioritize delaying the jungle's timing.
Yep, and looking at the timing here on the side of UP fighting Maroons, now up against a Hilda. Things are not looking so great for this Novaria. In terms of the range, Lilia will struggle against the Novaria, but wave clear will not be a problem at all. And in fact, National University could extend this game. So UP fighting Maroons, the choice for gold laner. I think the safest bet here is you get something that could still fight in the late game.
Fighting in the late game, indeed, is what we are seeing, because Claude has been taken up. You know that's going to be the Trinity builder. That is the scaling that UP needs. As I mentioned, NU has a lot of aggression. They want to win the game. They want to finish the game really early. But with UP's lineup, they have the time. They have the lineup to prolong the game. And now they have the insurance policy with the Claude. And of course, combining that with the Astral Echo, the Blazing Duet is going to hit a lot of targets, especially because NU, if caught, all 5 of them, it's going to slow them down.
And match 1 will be starting up soon. Game number 1 to be exact. And if you want to join us live here at the TV5 MVP Studios, you can grab your tickets on site for 200 pesos. You could enjoy the semifinals and the finals later on. Of course, big shout-outs for PLDT as well. Thank you for keeping us connected and supporting the excitement of the UAAP Esports Tournament 2026. UP fighting Maroons, fighting their way towards the Final Four for the first time in UAAP Esports MLBB history, up against the giants. That is NU Bulldogs. Let's enter the Land of Dawn.
We're seeing a lot of vision right from the get-go. See here with NU, we're seeing a bit of slow pacing here, especially just because a lot of the junglers need time to farm, but then they're here in the mid lane. We see the opener. We just mentioned this previously, Umi, in the draft. We're in Blast with Pakulan on that Hilda is gonna be opening up with a first blood in the mid lane.
Yeah, and as you said earlier, Miggy, the early game pressure coming in from this Lilia paired up with Pakulan, and Estacio wasn't even part of the mix-up. It's just too lethal for UP to be extending that way quite early. So National University takes first blood and control over the early game tempo. Martinez has to keep himself safe inside his own jungle. Nice poke out coming in from Santiago, but a retribution is used. Estacio very low HP, and Martinez takes him down.
Martinez really perfectly timed there. They were able to time it up, and now UP has the tempo. They have the early game aggression with Estacio's death. That kind of delayed early game pressure from NU. They have to play recovery now. And of course, if you're a very early game centric lineup, as we could see with the Hilda, the Lilia, and the Hirara pickup, you really have to find a proactive way to recover.
Herrero underneath his turret forced the flicker out. Martinez, deadly magic, not enough to get that kill, but it does burn the flicker away from Herrero. Things are looking great for UP after that first blood happening for National University.
100 goals to their name in equalized scoreboard. It is a wait and see game just because the turtle has come up. Both teams are posturing up, making sure that they have what it takes to secure the first turtle game. This is momentum in their hands. Bangsal and Blas and Estacio, all three in here in the turtle pit, and they are able to disengage and secure that. Deadly Magic does connect on Pakulan, but Mariano with the aggressive flicker to take him off the map. Turtle goes to the side of NU, but a death goes to the side of UP.
Yeah, Mariano burning the flicker for that kill. I think that is quite worth it, considering that the turtle already came to the hands of National University. Might as well get something in return. Estacio currently 0-1-0 in this game after that aggressive invade that backfired. Santiago leashing Estacio just for quite a bit. Fails to steal it away, but UP Fighting Maroons still ahead by 200. They're establishing their position around this river.
It was too close for comfort, and now that we are seeing UP playing very aggressively, Gabriano really trying to hyper-accelerate the farm he's having. He is double laning, leaving Herrero there. Fast clear in mid, fast clear in top, and now a possible fast clear on this Uranus of Mariano. There Pakulan goes into the turret dive with the Astral Echo, delaying him. That is aggressive play coming from NU, and UP capitalizes on their mistake.
Wow, National University with another aggressive maneuver, and UP Fighting Maroons punishing that aggression once again. And the sad part here for National University is that UP is also building towards the late game. Gabri now, despite not having any kills, is farming up quite well, even better than Herrero, around 250 in gold deficit for Herrero here. UP Fighting Maroons showing everybody that they can also fight against NU toe-to-toe.
This is not the NU we are used to seeing. We see a lot of early game dominance coming from their lineup, and it was an expected result from the way they were picking up their heroes. 15 seconds to 10 seconds to the turtle, and UP now very confident. They have 100 goal difference. It's barely any, but of course, just because they are seeing that they could go toe-to-toe with the dominant top seed of Group A, that has to give them that confidence boost. And now this is gonna be a slow take. We're waiting on possible vision score here in the bush, but they're gonna check out Mariano, and now Sikat slowly giving a few pictures here and there, taking selfies with NU. But I think this is the time NU wants to posture for this turtle take.
Again, this will be the second turtle of the game. NU took the first turtle for themselves, and Mariano seems to be the front line here for the side of NU. Pakulan trying to get away from that deadly magic, able to regen inside the grass. Oh no, the Star Shatter doesn't land onto Estacio, but it seems like the turtle will go to the hands of National University. Pakulan looking for the next kill. Martinez goes down. Mariano looks to be the next target here. NU hunting him down underneath his turret, forces the flicker out, plus the consecration. Too much damage. National University gets a big win.
That is the perfect opening that NU was looking for. That early game comeback to their name, though they lose a turret in the bot lane, as we could see in this turtle fight. It's gonna be a perfect golden hour coming from Sika, but turns out it was a good one for their opponents. NU was able to capitalize on that, taking Sika out of the golden hour, and now they took out Martinez, and they ended with a very aggressive turret dive onto Mariano.
Yeah, and so far for UP Fighting Maroons, the lead that they built for themselves earlier is now gone over to National University. Almost 2,000 gold ahead. National University is looking to secure a better mid-game compared to UP Fighting Maroons. Herrero, 0-0-3. I think at this point, he's already reached his power spike despite not finishing the Trinity just yet. Look at that, the damage coming in from Herrero. And they could just do this again and again for the next few minutes.
It's always going to be that waiting game for UP. They know that they have to play it calm, collected, and controlled. UP had the upper hand in the early game. They were able to secure that half checkpoint, I guess, half check into NU being able to survive and prolong the early game. They were able to neuter NU's aggressive play, and now UP kind of backed in the corner because of that second turtle fight. They ended up losing 3 members of their team. Now it's a bit of a slow-paced game coming from UP. They are not going to be playing the timing, but NU, they are still pretty aggressive. They know that UP has to play safe now. They capitalized on that, using that proactive recovery that we've been mentioning a while ago, and now they're looking for more objectives. They look to push a lot more turrets with the Astral Echo connecting on Herrero.
Oh, Herrero with a go away. Golden Hour lands onto 2 and able to flicker out, but Sika tries to get a kill. Herrero outplays him underneath that broken turret, and Gabri now goes in with a blazing duet. Looks at Pakulan, and that was just National University frustrating UP.
That is a painful thing to watch, especially with how aggressive we were seeing Sikat play, really trying to get that kill onto Herrero. Of course, you're still looking at a tank or roamer matchup against a damage dealer. Herrero had no HP, but he still had damage to dish out. Now that we're looking, Sikat really wanted to take that kill, especially because it's gonna force NU to back away or take the turtle a lot slower. But because of that mistake, they knew UP's not gonna be taking this free turtle because they had no more frontliner to make sure that they got the vision for a potential post or pre-turtle objective fight.
And National University securing all 3 turtle takes for this game allows Estacio to just efficiently farm despite being just 0, 1, and 2. Not the usual Estacio that we see that goes and dominates the early game. In fact, that's Martinez stealing away the purple buff as well. They're going to go for the mid lane. Santiago looks to be the target. Aspaculan goes in, but it seems that he doesn't get the conversion. Martinez in a great angle, and Sikat goes in as well for the stun. Bangsal with a falling star moon finds Sikat, and he's able to get one for National University.
We're seeing Bangsal caught between a rock and a hard place, but the aggressive play pays off. They were able to get that mid lane turret, opening up the side of NU's map. And of course, with that dive, they were able to take Sikat out. Now we're looking for controlled pacing. We know that NU has the ball in their court. UP has to find a way to steal it. They have to find a way to find that opportunity because Herrero, there's no time to waste because Herrero is just scaling up because of his itemization and his toolkit.
Yeah, but right now Estacio finds Sikat once again. Star Shatter doesn't land coming in from Santiago. Estacio just running around circles inside the jungle of UP fighting Maroons as UP throws out the Astral Echo, finds Bangsal. Sikat goes into the back line, and looks like Sikat is playing much more aggressive than he would yesterday. This is a very inspired Sikat that he sees that Pakulan and Herrero finds and shuts down once more. 0, 4, and 2 right now in this game as UP fighting Maroons is left to defend.
It might be the jitters happening, but both teams need to really wake up and warm up because this is a do-or-die best-of-3 series. They need to duke it out. They need to find the timing. And right now, NU has found firm and sturdy footing. They are as tall as oak. They are standing in the way of UP from securing a potential grand finals showing debut.
And for UP, this is already history in the making for them. What they want to do right now is to turn this history to an even longer one by securing that final spot. The National University seems to be dead set on taking that slot away from the UP fighting Maroons. Looking at our items, looking at the gold laners, it seems that Herrero is already 1,000 gold ahead from this Claude yet to finish his golden staff.
We are seeing the Trinity build. We are seeing a completed one as well on the side of Claude. Majority of the 6K to 7K gold lead actually is going to be on to... Actually, most of them, all the lanes, all the positions, they have at least 1,000 gold ahead of their counterparts onto the side of NU. And now we're seeing a fully kitted out, a fully burst damage, full Hirara from Estacio, and now we're seeing a golden hour just to try to prevent any kills onto Martinez. Sikat, without the golden hour, has to push away and use damage dealers, and now no inhibitor turret in the mid lane. It's only a matter of time before NU secures the whole base of UP.
Yeah, but NU, they're going to stay patient here. They're just going to get the inhibitor turret in the mid lane and try to dance around the top lane. But it seems that they're slowly respecting the damage that Sikat and the rest of UP fighting Maroons could do. Gabri now is still untouched in this game. Mariano is very dangerously low. Santiago forced to flicker away in the turret up top. falls down to the hands of National University. Martinez with the deadly magic back in front of Bangsal, and they are able to defend with 2 inhibitors lost.
We're going to be seeing the classic tactic of NU right now. This is their early game bull rush, or bulldog rush, I'd say. The way they are able to just open up UP's base, and now they're going to be playing that battle for attrition. They're going to be making sure that UP will experience and feel their lack thereof of 2 inhibitor turrets. All the while, they're going to be freezing the lanes possibly, and they're going to make sure that the farm will not be going onto the side of UP while this 60 minutes, or 60 seconds rather, Lord responds. But of course, they're still going to be very proactive. They know they have the vision to back it all up, but Astral Echo does connect onto 2, forcing that blazing duet.
Looks like Herrero will be able to follow. Oh, Sikat finds Estacio, but Bangsal very low HP. Gonna try to shield up himself, but Sikat forced to flicker out. Here comes Martinez with the protection. Bangsal very low. Santiago snipes him down from afar. UP fighting Maroons finds 2.
We are slowly seeing the UP fight in them, the fighting Maroons. Yes, we were talking about Gabriel now's scaling potential, but lest we forget, there is still a Novaria, as we saw from that snipe. Novaria scaling up a lot of the damage, potentially getting and picking up that lightning truncheon next. We're going to just have to wait and see regarding that, but with the Astral Echo, with the Star Shatter, Santiago is going to be a damage dealer to be dealt with if NU want to secure this game.
Yeah, and right now for NU, looks like they're gonna defend against UP's Lord take. But this will be quite the Lord dance. Sikat finds 2, takes a picture of Estacio as Pakulan goes in. Blast in a great angle for a fight as Herrero zones out multiple members from UP. As Mariano gives vision for the side of the fighting Maroons. Sikat goes in with a golden hour. Gabri now looks to be found out right in the front lines. The gold laner is down for UP. They're trying to scour around out of this fight. Sikat looks to be the next target. Able to dash out. Astral Echo 1, 2, 3, but Bangsal is relentless. They get Sikat. Blast converts it to a kill as Mariano looks to be the next target with a stun from the side of Pakulan, but they don't care about the bodies anymore. They care about the base. This is National University taking game number 1.
From a rocky start, which could potentially mean or spell doom for their early game aggression. NU find their footing tall as an oak, as I said, as they stood their ground firmly, making sure that UP, they will not be getting their momentum. They will not be getting their stride as NU secures game 1.
And that is just match point already for the National University Bulldogs after securing that game 1 victory. This is a best of 3 semi-finals bout between UP and National University. And we've seen National University fight all the way from the mid to the late game to secure this game against UP. UP did exceptionally well in the early game, but sadly dropped the ball when it mattered the most.
Yeah, a lot of the plays that almost happened was onto the side of Sikat. Sikat had the angles, but what happened there actually in the last part of the game, during the turtle engagement, Sikat took a really wide U-turn. What happened there, because he is the one frontliner aside from Mariano, Gabriel now ended up being in the front line, much like here as you guys can see in the highlight. Gabriel now ended up being in the front line, thus they were able to deny him. They were able to burst him because UP was trying for a box out fight. They were trying to look for that golden hour from behind, but just because they tried for that attempted box out, NU played it in. They played it forward. They pushed into Gabriel, who was now in the front.
Yeah, and I think the MVP of that game, by the way, is Blast on his mid lane performance. A perfect game for quote-unquote the faker of NU.
Ooh.
Looks like him too.
Yeah.
And right now, we're looking at potentially a very momentous win for National University that could propel them all the way to the grand finals. But of course, if you are a UP fan watching the UAAP broadcast right now, you'd like for UP to find a way to recover from that tough loss.
If we were talking about Faker, as we saw, all roads may lead to him, with Blast opening up and paving that way on that road. Opening the game up with the Blast. Did not expect it. They were underestimating how much burst damage this Lilia could have, and then Blast just proceeded to give way for his teammate because he was that early game damage dealer. Yes, we saw that Estacio was denied several damage because he was lacking the Sky Piercer, but the fact that he was still that consistent, that steady damage dealer, they were able to recuperate. They were able to recover the loss of damage just because of how steady he was farming and how much his presence was during the engagement.
And we felt that presence all throughout the entire game. This was National University taking the first win of the playoffs and looking to recover from their tough loss against De La Salle University yesterday. They got swept by De La Salle yesterday, but now starting it strong for today's playoffs. They only need one more win to secure a slot to the grand finals once again. And that would mean that it could be a back-to-back appearances in the finals of UAAP Esports MLBB for National University.
And may that chapter have a different ending for NU. As we could see, they were still shaken to the core, especially facing off against DLSU, but now facing off against UP. They found it. They found the momentum. They were not just the ones who got 2-0'd yesterday from La Salle. They are the top seed of Group A. And now we can see there's a lot of coaching happening here from Coach Avon here, talking to his members, probably talking about using this as a way to propel them onwards, but not using it as a way to be too confident into it, because you still have to respect your opponents. Because UP, they showcased to us that there was a way to deny or counter the early game aggression. It's just a matter of following through.
And if yesterday we have seen a lot of best of twos, this will not end to just 2 games. If UP Fighting Maroons is able to win game number 2, we will see game number 3 happen to decide who's gonna go to the grand finals. This is a best of 3, the first one in our format, considering that we've seen multiple best of 2s for the past 2 days of UAAP Esports MLBB 2026. And now Coach Avon about to finish his pep talk and the strategy for game number 2. This is something that we see every time for National University, win or lose. They always talk about the game and how to improve from it.
Improving, finding a way to use it to their advantage, finding that momentum. As you've mentioned, Umi, this is a best of 3, so drafting between a best of 2 and a best of 3 is very different. And based on how we're seeing this, we're going to be seeing a lot of adjustments. We're not going to be seeing cheese picks much. You're going to probably be leaning toward that comfort for the side of UP, finding that identity. Yes, you could be reacting to how NU plays, but of course, you still have to be the one dictating the pace with the way you're going to be drafting. And with NU, historically speaking, yes, they fought best of 2 games, but most, if not all, their games ended with a 2-0, whether it was a win or a lose.
Yeah, but I feel like for National University, they're a very momentum-based team here. The moment that they get the confidence to play the game that they know and love, we will see National University quite lethal in their attempts. And meanwhile, for UP Fighting Maroons, we've seen them struggle throughout the group stage only to find themselves winning at the end. They're really good at learning from their mistakes. And I feel like after that game number 1 loss against National University, immediately they will be able to understand what has happened in that game number 1. And to be fair, Miggy, they played in an abnormally aggressive game compared to what they did yesterday in the past few days of this tournament. Welcome to game number 2. It's still going to be National University in the blue side and UP on the red side. And I think actually it was UP in the blue side from game number 1.
Yes, rather I believe it was UP in the red side.
Oh wow, so yeah, no swap of sides for game number 2 as we enter a potentially similar drafting phase from game number 1.
It's easy to be tempted. It's easy to be tempted by a lot of meta picks, a lot of, as we saw a while ago, a lot of 1% HP damage dealers just to try to get that early game advantage for them. But we have to wait and see.
And with that, the Matilda ban is taken away once again. UP Fighting Maroons, we know that they love their utility roamers. Sikat loves to play this Matilda, the Rafaela even, and it would be no question taken from National University if ever they do take away the Rafaela as well in ban number 2. This is what they've done in game number 1 and could be the same strategy that they employ in this game number 2. A crucial do-or-die game between these 2 teams. And for National University, they only need one more.
Only need is to find the win. They're going to be banning out that Fanny yet again. They do not want to be dealing. If you're talking about early game aggression, you do not want to give Estacio the burst of the Fanny early game, the side lane pressure, the way he carries the team when he has that Fanny. It's only a matter of time before he snowballs and outscales everyone in the early game. He's at 6 items while everyone else is at 3. Possibly, that's why you're going to be taking it out. And we're going to probably be seeing similar bans as well. They don't want to be playing, or rather, they would not want NU to be playing in their comfort when they are already the 1 win away from securing Grand's final spot.
And no zero risk taken. If you're UP fighting Maroons, don't give Estacio the Fanny, or maybe even the Yisun Shin. I don't know. Yisun Shin's not really a big part of this meta, but YSS is something of a pocket pick for Estacio. People have seen it multiple times, and now for UP, they're going to take away Blas's Selena that has won multiple international championships already for collegiate stage. And the Paquito, once again, UP fighting Maroons, fighting against the Goliath of this tournament. Already a game behind and backs against the wall. They banned the Paquito, the same 3 bans that they did in game number 1, and NU takes the Melissa once again.
If we're going to be following the same draft, the same pattern as game number 1, we're going to be seeing a pickup on possibly a Marcel or a Hirara, or a lot more utility, or rather a lot of utility roams, maybe a frontliner roam, because we're going to be looking at the same one yet again. Sikat on the Marcel and Mariano on the Uranus.
Oh, this might just be the same draft, just different execution, I think.
Exactly.
And if we were to follow game number 1, this should be a Hirara and a Belleric on the side of NU. Wait, no, a Hirara and an Esmeralda, rather,
yes,
on the side of NU.
Honestly, that's not going to be too bad of a deal, because we've seen how it's going to work, but they're going to switch it up.
Wow.
They're going to be trying to bait out a potential Hirara pick. Probably, you can't be winning the same strat. If you keep using it, you might get too comfortable with it. But of course, with UP, as we mentioned, their play style is being very adaptable, being able to adjust. But of course, we have to wait and see the 3rd ban.
Yep, and we're just waiting for this 3rd pick coming in from UP. Now that the Novaria is stolen away, what will UP fighting Maroons get as their 3rd pick of this crucial game number 2 against NU? And so far, we're just waiting in for the lock-in for UP fighting Maroons. They're going to go in for the Harley. The same bans and picks coming in from UP in game number 1. But of course, a lot of things are happening in our arena. So let's go over to our hosts.
All bark, and of course, taking that bite for game number 1, that winning energy that the NU Bulldogs gave, went straight to Hoxon. And of course, the NU Bulldogs side is also going crazy right now. And I'm together with
Ashley. I'm Ashley Nico.
Okay, so Ashley, of course, who are you supporting from the NU Bulldogs team?
Of course, I'm supporting all of them because I'm a fan and I'm also a Nationalian. But of course, may mga sinusuportahan din tayong kanya-kanyang bias. But for now, di naman kasi naglalaro eh.
Okay. Who is the person not playing at the moment? Can you give a special shout out for that person?
Coaching staff po eh. And yung Iko, of course.
I see. All right. We were having a conversation earlier prior to this. What time did you wake up this morning just to get here?
I woke up at 4 a.m. actually just to get at NU Manila and then go here dito sa Mandaluyong po. Ang layo po, right?
From Hoxton to Mandaluyong, and the support continues. Of course, do you have any special shout-outs for everyone?
I'm going to shout out po my grandfather and also my grandmother kasi fan po sila ng UAAP and plan po nila na manood din ng mga ganitong games. So, hello, Mamang and Papang.
Yeah, so
Stay
shout-out
safe.
sa Team Bahay. And of course, thank you so much, Ashley. And of course, NU Bulldogs, make some noise! Yes! And of course, the energy of the NU Bulldogs just keeps going, no? So at this point, let's throw it to the side of the Fighting Maroons. Angelica, let's go.
UAP fans, beside me is Zoe. So Zoe, which team are you rooting for?
Well, of course, UP. I'm really proud of how far they've come, but I have to admit, I really want to give NU their flowers as well. They've had a beautiful off-season performance. It's an honor for us to be able to go up against them.
And also, It was a heart-pumping game for our game 1 against the Bulldogs, but of course, the UP Fighting Maroons will not back down. Do you have any message to our UP Fighting Maroons?
I'm proud of you guys. I'm proud of this team. It's not just me. All of EVT is proud of you. The entire varsity is, our athletics, the whole university is behind you guys. Do your best. I'm so proud of how far you've come.
There you have it. And also, lastly, do you have anyone that you would like to shout out or say thanks to?
Actually, I'd really like to shout out one of our newest additions sa team, yung faculty advisor po namin, si Sir Bono. It's been such a huge support, giving us a better infrastructure for our team. Thank you so much, sir, if you're watching at home. See you later.
Once again, Zoe from UP Fighting Maroons, thank you and good luck to your team. And before I throw it back to our caster, let's hear it one more time from our UP Fighting Maroons. Womi and Miggy, back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Angel and Rexler, for those wonderful interviews. The support is real coming in from the communities of both National University and UP Fighting Maroons. Things are heating up in the draft as well. We're seeing very similar picks on the side of UP. And meanwhile, for National University, final 2 picks on their blue side.
We're looking at Claude being taken up. This is the same lineup UP's running, but of course, we're going to be possibly looking. Navarre's been taken. Atlas, Belleric is still open. Because they know they're probably going to bait the Belleric and Leomort, and now they're probably going to pick up the Valentina just because they knew that Belleric was going to be picked up by NU.
And let's see if it's going to be the Valentina, the Leomort as well. I think this is the first time in a while that I've seen Estacio on that Leomort, but they're going to go for the Zushin instead. Still a great pickup. And I think in the same line that what Valentina wants to do, be able to disrupt or copy, this side of NU with this Belleric. But now we have our game number 2 draft. Once again, it's match point for National University. And meanwhile, for UP, they are hoping to extend this series. If you want to experience every clutch play, every thrilling moment, and support your university live, join us here at the TV5 MVP Studios and grab your tickets for 200 pesos. Big shout out to PLDD. Thank you for keeping us connected and supporting the excitement of the UAAP Esports 2026. We are about to see what could be the final game of this series. But if UP fights on, we will see 3 games.
I'm looking and looking at the draft and trying to get my head around it. It seems like UP still really want to commit to this lineup that they are running. And I guess this has been their comfort. This is, if you would run the same lineup, the same draft another time, it means you know that it's gonna work. You know it's gonna be effective. So really, it's a matter of just mixing up and changing up the execution, as we could see here in the early game. In the mid lane, it's no longer the Lilia on the side of NU, so we're not gonna be expecting that first blood finish.
And for UP, and we are about to see a very aggressive early game invade here, but great defense coming in from Pakulan, just making sure that none of the UP members are able to disturb Estacio in his own jungle. And this is what you want to do if you're with a Leomord. You don't want this Leomord to not farm up as fast as possible to level 4.
If we're talking about snowballing, Leomord is the first hero you're gonna ought to think about, especially if he has a rough start. He's gonna have an even rougher early game. So this is gonna be a true test of how well NU trusts their jungler. They trust Estacio, because we saw how he fed the first blood to UP a while ago. He fed the first death of NU to UP a while ago, and now we're going to be seeing if he could come back from that, because we saw Blast was the one that popped off in the early game when NU needed him the most.
3-man rotation here coming in from National University. The Lantern not quite hitting the mark. NU knows that they're still quite unseen, but they poke out Sikat as they set up for the first turtle of the game.
We're waiting, and we're slowly seeing that NU has the vision to make sure that any collapses coming from the bottom side of the map from UP is going to be taken back. And now Sikat forced to use that Platinum Snap, taking selfies, making sure that NU will have a bit of crowd control and shields for his team as well. Now we're seeing, yet again, Deja Vu, NU securing this first turtle from the get-go.
And this is the first turtle, once again, going to the hands of National University. This is, so far, a perfect objective take games from games 1 to 2 for National University. They were able to secure all turtles from game number 1, and now UP rotating towards the bottom lane. But Pakulan able to ease the pressure onto Estacio and Herrero. Things are very safe so far for both universities, but they're going to go in with a flicker engage, and they find two. Sikat is able to dash out, but Martinez can't say the same. First blood for National University.
Same lineup from UP, but different story in that early jungle invasion coming from NU. Yes, we are seeing this again, folks. The same lineup, but different results. It seems like the theme for NU's run is to change the ending, to turn the page and give a ending B for polishing.
And UP, as of now, 3 minutes in, they've already lost one live. And they're also thinking on how to recover from that one. And it seems that the answer is just going to Bangsal, trying to burst him down. But Bangsal really tanky with his Esmeralda, a 4-man rotation, only to burn nothing up top except for the Purify.
We're seeing a lot more passive play from UP, knowing full well they were able to be disrupted and the story's been rewritten, but Gabriel now being the divot. Possible dive here onto him with the go away, feeling like Akai's heavy spin. No way out. And that is the gold laner of UP down, and now that is a bonus gold plating for the side of NU.
What a play coming in from Herrero, using the go away, a presumably defensive ability as an offensive tool to trap Gabriel between a hard barrier and that wall. 5 seconds before the next turtle. That's going to be the second turtle of the game. Bangsal once again receives a deadly magic to the face, but is bit too tanky to deal with. UP once again loses resources over trying to take down Bangsal.
We're seeing this turtle fight. It's going to be a matter of time because Golden Hour is going to freeze that moment in time. We're seeing that turtle yet again be taken by Estacio. It was a trade-off that UP was willing to take because Martinez utilized his skills, his mobility to secure that purple buff on the enemy side. But now Estacio is the one to take purple buff from Martinez. This is going to be back away time for NU just because they know that they are lacking the numbers. They are lacking the durability, especially on the side of the enemy map.
Yeah, now Estacio just going back to the farming. And meanwhile, on the side of UP Fighting Maroons, yet to convert on the kill score, but able to keep up in terms of the gold. Just 1,000 gold lead for National University, despite NU having successful encounters in that gold lane. Now UP will start to invade Estacio's jungle with Sikat helping out Mariano. Meanwhile, Martinez is just poising to take this turret downstairs, but it seems that they will not be able to do so. Top lane on the other hand, Bangsal almost taking down that turret.
This is the pattern we tend to see when teams are up against NU and they immediately experience the early game aggression and pressure coming from NU. They are forced to buddy up. And now we're going to be seeing that in games with the Crimson Beacon used from Santiago as a way to be offensive and defensive. But Mariano's just too tanky, and Estacio with that Phantom Steed was looking for a potential pickoff. Now we're going to be seeing current movement in the river, possibly coming from an invade on the side of NU, but there we see Herrero slowly pathing his way into the mid lane.
And all of that happening only for National University to get a turret downstairs. And UP Fighting Maroons, they lost a turret while trying to fight a completely different battle in the mid lane. That's going to be the Phantom Steed. They look for Mariano. Look at the damage coming in from Herrero as he takes down this Uranus. Sikat looks to be the next, but able to dance away, dodges the Star Shatter coming in from Blast, and they survive.
They might be losing a lot more than members of UP because the mid lane turret is looking prime and ready for the taking. Santiago, no Crimson Beacon at hand, so there's no way for escape. But Purify has been popped. But there is Gabriel now with the Blazing Duet to fend them off. But there is one catapult left. But that is a mid lane turret successfully defended on the side of UP.
Last two turtles came to the hands of National University. It seems that they cannot contest this one. NU able to get all three turtles once again in game number 2. Martinez, deadly magic out. Bangsal trying to go for the falling star move, but a completely different fight in the mid lane. Sikat able to dash out as Estacio goes in with his steed. Star Shatter lands onto 2, and there will be no conversions here in the mid lane.
That is the only objective NU needs to be taking that mid lane. They are throwing all the bodies. They have to try to secure this because once they secure it, that is the checklist. They get all the outer turrets in the early game. They are able to open up the map and pressure. And speaking of pressure, Blast showcasing Santiago how to play that Novaria with that snipe on Martinez.
But Sikat with a lot of shields, Bangsal feeds on that shield. It looks like mid lane will be going to the hands of National University. Mariano providing some front line, but look at the damage from Herrero. Forces out the consecration as Bangsal pops the falling star moon, but doesn't really cast it all the way through. They're gonna go for that turn instead in the top lane. Bangsal goes in once again, zoning out with the models. National University gets another turret up top.
We're seeing a potential Holy Shield pop, and that goes. Top lane has no extra external defenses, and that might just be where the Lord will be marching unless NU has something to say about it, because right now they're playing super aggressively here in the mid lane with Muddles connecting onto 3, giving access to NU to push this inner turret here in the mid lane.
Yes, and UP still defending with all of their might in the mid lane. And NU just simply rotating top side instead. 20 seconds before this Lord take, this might just be their final play. Golden Hour onto 3. Crimson Beacon defensively used as the Steed is called to exit out of that fight. But look at the damage coming in from Blas and Herrero. UP able to survive and defend all 3 inhibitor turrets. Wow!
Surprisingly, with all the aggression that they are showing, UP is putting up a good fight. The Fighting Maroons still have the red and maroon in them to make sure it's coursing through their veins. They are warriors looking to secure a potential extra life in this best of 3 series. All the while we could see NU really barking at the right tree, because they are there knocking on NU's door and UP's door with this Lord take. This could possibly open this up for a quick and swift end.
And that's going to be the first Lord of the game going to the hands of National University. So far, a perfect game for NU. No kills on the board yet for UP Fighting Maroons. And NU has been able to secure objective after objective, securing turrets all around the map with all 3 turtles in the first Lord of the game as well. NU just featuring their effortless, well, not effortless, just a lot of effort of putting in the objectives in the hard work. And Sikat suffers a bit of damage once again coming in from Herrero.
We're seeing very aggressive plays from Sikat, huh? That the fact that he has that Marcel, he knows he could be nimble and mobile with it. The Platinum snaps give him extra safety, but
oh no, wow.
Sikat's Golden Hour misses, and Herrero's just being able to juke it out. Pakulan right there with a fizzled flicker Wrath of the Dryad, but then from the behind, Esmeralda was there. Bangsal with the falling star moon. Now Estash is connecting. This is a weird front to back. It's a back to front with a lot of members of UP going down. And you with two lanes pushing. 2 minions, a Lord to their name. We're seeing the march down. Martinez, the only one left to defend the base, and it's only a matter of time. And you knocking on UP's door, saying goodnight as they secure a 2-0 sweep, securing their spot in the grand finals.
And NU delivering what was promised. A 2-0 against UP Fighting Maroons. History made for UP. Getting to the Final 4. But the story ends here. NU continues their run towards the Grand Finals, going back-to-back finals appearances from last season.
We're seeing so much potential from NU's lineup. The way we saw the draft unfold, it was the same lineup from UP. But I guess this run's theme for NU is about rewriting the story. They were able to adjust their draft in such a way that the same lineup did not result in the same result, because the way they invaded early on, they were the ones given their first death. They were the ones given and delayed their early game timings just because they invaded UP's jungle so soon. But now with their mix-up, with their changes, they were able to turn the story around, turn the tables around. And this time, will the story be written, as they are going to be waiting on their matches, their opponent in the grand finals?
Yeah, we still have one more semi-finals match right after this one. It's going to be the Adamson University with an immortal run in the group stage of Group B against DLSU, who beat National University yesterday 2-0. And that's going to happen right after this best of 3. Looking back at this entire semi-finals bout, National University came out of the gates hot. They knew what they wanted. They knew how to get it. And just look at that. Even multiple singular solo plays, those micromanagements that Estacio and the rest of National University has done in this game, they were able to outplay UP in all of their respective lanes.
Yeah, they really had to anger the Bulldog in them. They had to wake up, and once they were woken up, they were just running, they were barking, they had a bite so bad, they wanted it so bad, they were hungry for it, and because of the aggressive movements, because of the early game aggression, because they wanted to rewrite their story, they were able to secure this 2-0.
And this 2-0 just marks the end as well for the side of UP Fighting Maroons. This means that they will not be able to compete anymore after this loss, and they will end their run here in the UAAP Esports Season 3 in general for MLBB, able to at least achieve better than most of the iterations of the UP Fighting Maroons. Still, GG, well played. Our MVP of game number 2 is Herrero with his Melissa performance, outplaying everyone who tried to attempt to get his life.
Melissa of Herrero, 106. This is the second time he played it today. And of course, he's ever so consistent, the damage dealer of NU. That Melissa was always consistent. We saw the way he just used Go Away, as you mentioned. He could use it both as offensive and defensively. So it was just only a matter of time. That was how reliant they were, or they had so much trust in their gold laner, Herrero, always there to pull it through.
And that was a spectacular performance for Herrero and National University Bulldogs, now securing the grand finals berth up against whoever wins our next semifinals match between Adamson University and De La Salle University. Potentially, we might be seeing a rematch of last season's grand finals matchup, but Adamson University, they want to say otherwise. Congratulations once again to National University for securing their grand finals berth. Theo Ignacio, Miggy Arayata will be throwing you over to our host.
UAAP fans, NU Bulldogs just made it through the finals. Congratulations, NU Bulldogs. And now, beside me is our MVP, none other than Herrero. So Herrero, I want to know, how will you transition into celebrating being the MVP into preparing to the final?
Ang ano lang po, yung inayos lang po na yung laro na. Ngayon po, tinama lang po yung mali kahapon.
And what can we expect from the Bulldogs sa finals?
Ano po, mas lilinisan pa po namin laro namin.
And right here at the studio, we can hear the team spirit of the Bulldogs. Do you have any message first to your fans and also to your team?
Shoutout sa fans namin, salamat sa support at sa jowa ko po.
Yes, and lastly, to your team. Do you have any message to your team?
Wala po eh.
Okay, let's hear it from our NU Bulldogs team coach. Do you have any message to your team?
Good luck. Best of luck for our team, and hopefully we grab the championship.
Short but sweet, and once again, congratulations, NU Bulldogs. And now to hear about our next match, let's hear it from Rex.
All right, so there you have it. NU Bulldogs going straight to the finals. But before anything else, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big hand for the UP Fighting Maroons for giving an all-out effort and battle against the NU Bulldogs. Not making it easy for the NU Bulldogs, definitely. But of course, for everything that we have seen so far, don't forget to use our official hashtags. Those are hashtags UAAP Esports 2026 for everyone, UAAP. And of course, hashtag Legends start here.
And for those who doesn't want to miss the fun and exciting games today, we are live at the UAAP Varsity channels, Filipinas Live, and One Sports YouTube channel. And for those who wants to watch on site, tickets are still available here at the MVP Studios.
Join the esports excitement as we are going to match number 2. It's the flock of San Marcelino versus the Archers of Taft. The Adamson Soaring Falcons goes up against the DLSU Green Aces for semifinal match number 2. Once again, my name is Rex Rubiani together with Angelica Sarmiento. We'll be right back.
All the best sports action is right here.